Welcome to the Bloom Show, brought to you by Above All Flowers and New Bloom Solutions. Really happy today to have this show. Again, this show is for the flower community, by the flower community, and we have a special guest host, as you can see here, scrolling in the bottom. Guest host Nicole Palazzo. You might know her for City Line Florist. You might know her from NextGen. You might know her for hanging out at SAF. But we all know her and love her for everything she does for the industry. And one thing she has done great for the industry has been supporting the industry with her team, which she'll be interviewing today, with NextGen. And NextGen has been an amazing addition to the flower industry, and it's a gift that's going to continue to keep on giving for many, many, many more generations to come. So Above All Flowers and New Bloom Solutions, we love to sponsor it, we love to be there, and we love to give this platform to people like Nicole and her team to share their stories and to hopefully inspire others to do the same in our industry, and to inspire others to also be a part of NextGen, to promote it, to sponsor it, to be there, to support it. So it's really important. Again, this show is for the floral community, by the floral community. We ask you to please chime in, ask some questions. I see some questions already here. So chime in, ask some questions, which is really important because it's only going to inspire us and have a lot of fun with it. Don't forget to subscribe as well, like and comment when you can. I do want to kind of give a brief of who will be on the show. Sam Bowles, General Manager and Creative Director of Allen's Florals and Gifts. And something else is giving him compliment for is 12 years running for San Diego's best florist. So 12 years and running. So I got that right. And then Cameron Pappas, we all know him. Some of us say that he will be the next future SAF president, but he's an awesome guy, very well known and very helpful to our industry as well. And he is the owner and he runs Norton Florist himself. I believe he's second or third generation. I'll let him share that a little bit. And then obviously you have the Nicole. So without further ado, I'm going to hand this over to Nicole and her guests so they could do their thing and you could enjoy, and I'll be just behind the scenes. Enjoy. Nicole, it's all yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sahid, for having us, letting me guest host and take over for the day with my favorite NextGeners. Really appreciate it. What a great little treat and great intro for all of us. But I'm Nicole Palazzo from City Line Florist. If you haven't figured out, I'm the Nicole of the group. And I'll let my homies take it away, who they are.
Go ahead, Cameron.
I am Cameron Pappas. I'm excited to be on here. Thank you all for having me. I'm the owner of Norton's Florist in Birmingham, Alabama. I've been in the industry. My dad bought the business in 2002 from the Norton family. So it's 3 generations in the Norton family. And now I'm the second generation in the Pappas family. And I've been full-time in the business about 8 years. And my dad passed away last November. And so I've been running the show by myself for about 8-9 months, and we've got about 24 employees and service the whole Birmingham metro area.
And my name is Sam Bowles. I'm the general manager at Allen's Flowers in San Diego, California. I've been with Allen's for 7 years on August 1st, and we have 5 retail stores in the design center serving all of San Diego County.
Love it. Thank you, guys. So everyone listening, this is just going to be a fun, organic conversation. Sam and Cam, the Sam and Cam show, are 2 of my closest friends in the floral industry, and we're just going to have a good time. We like to consider ourselves the founding fathers of NextGen. So I think it would be appropriate to dive into NextGen and just talk about what we've created, the monster we've created, really. So I guess for the listeners, Cam and Sam, who are new to the NextGen concept, I'd like to think everyone already knows about it. But for the new people that are being introduced, you guys want to talk about the concept and what it represents?
Yeah, sure. Well, I know you're the host. We should let you tell the story in just a second of what the event was born out of, because I know it started just as a conversation with you and SAF president Kate Pin. But before we come back to that, I will share that what we try to do at the NextGen conference is engage, empower, and excite the next generation of floral professionals. You know, as young people, one thing that we often hear from other people our age and younger is that they're figuring out that this could be their career. For many of us, they're in this time of their life where it's like, am I just working at a flower shop until what's next? Or have I been working at a flower shop for a couple of years and I like it and I have a knack for it, and maybe I want to consider this as a career path? And so the NextGen conference, I think, has been about finding those people, providing resources and education that doesn't just equip them and empower them, but I really like the excite part as well, because I think it's one of the most important things that happens there, where getting to hang out with other young people who are in the industry really gets people fired up and going back to their business with lots of new ideas and lots of new friends around the country who do the same thing that they do.
Absolutely. I love what Ellie says from Flower Click, that she found her people really in the industry, and it just excites her. Cameron, anything you want to add into
I mean, Sam, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, I think it's just what I love about it is that you've just got the younger people, and I always tell people, you know, like I realized when I went to NextGen that I was sort of a unicorn, that not everybody that's my age owns a business or has ownership in a business. And so it's fun for me to be at NextGen where I'm with other people that are having experiences like the people that I'm managing, right? So I benefit on learning how to manage people by seeing the interactions that I have with attendees at NextGen.
Yeah,
so.
Great point on that. To going back to what you were saying, Sam, for the listeners. So NextGen really started with, I'm sure everyone else in the industry has dealt with the same issues, and you guys have both grown up in the industry, but I would go to every flower conference with my mom and my grandfather, and it was wonderful. And I was introduced to a whole new world, but it really was intimidating seeing all of the older generation have their own cliques and retailers sticking with just retailers. And my first conference was SAF. Hi, Ellie. My first conference was at SAF Maui, and I was old enough to start being able to answer questions and get it, but I was just way too intimidated to be able to answer the questions. And I always say, like, in front of Charles Ingram from Dr. Delphinium or some of the legends in the industry, and I felt like I was stifled because I just was the young gal in the room and I didn't want to overspeak or underspeak or whatever it may be. So after going to a lot of Profit Blast and a lot of different conferences, it was actually Profit Blast in Louisville, and I was able to sit down with Kate Penn and Laura Weaver and just tell them that we need to have something for the NextGen, and that's really where it took off. And then it evolved from the board. We started as a Facebook group, and now we're on our second year of having a conference for us, which is unbelievable, really crazy to think about.
And props Nicole, to SAF, to Kate's leadership, to Laura Weaver, who plans events, to the board, because this was something new, and it's still something new even in our second year, that required a significant investment of time and energy to make it happen. So without them getting behind it, I don't think it would have been a success. But it's been very cool 2 years in. And, you know, I'm sitting here realizing even the connection I have with you guys is kind of indicative of the importance of this conference. I was working with both of your parents before I met either of you. And I was friends with both of your parents before I met either of you, and you came into the business. And I think we also take for granted, Cameron, to your point earlier, that not everyone has those connections. You know, like, we already knew one another. We already had each other's number to text. We already talked business together, but not everybody has that. And so the conference, again, is such an exciting thing because you're surrounded by people who are your age and who do what you do. And it's very unique because, as anyone who's gone to other conferences would probably agree, particularly main conference tends to be owners or the top level of companies, and that makes sense. SAF is very unique because we're asking decision makers to invest also in the next generation. So we're seeing companies that have been very involved in SAF for years, instead of sending the owner or the people at the top, they're sending the the general manager who's young, or even their kids who are trying to decide if they're interested in being involved in the business, or just young employees who are leaders in the company. So I think that's what really sets it apart as a conference as well.
Absolutely. And something that I'm most proud of, that I think is very unique for NextGen, and I'd love to kind of touch on this, is that we have done such a great job capturing all the segments of the industry, right? So generally, for all conferences, right, you have Cal Flowers that is generally dealing with, let's say, importers or farmers, wholesalers, importers. SAF generally they're the umbrella for the entire industry, but usually for conferences, let's say it's pretty retail heavy and retail focused. I think we've done a phenomenal job. I can't remember the results that we just got from our survey about the last NextGen, but it was pretty evenly split of not just retailers, but breeders, growers, wholesalers, website marketing. It was pretty evenly split, and I think that's really unique and awesome. And I think like we've really taken down the walls and barriers of having like just where everyone is so supportive, right? Everyone wants to learn each part of the industry, and I think it's just like going to help us be such a badass industry in the future, right? I think it's really cool to have different other segments.
Yeah, and I think building on that, Nicole, I think that when we go to NextGen and we're beginning to develop relationships with people who are working for importers and growers and wholesalers, and starting to build those relationships early on in our careers are going to lend beneficial to those companies down the road. Like I said, my dad passed away in November, and I had to learn flower buying like real quick, because you still have to have flowers every week. Yeah. And so I had to sort of learn it on the fly. And the first people that I reach out to are the people who I've started developing relationships with at NextGen. And, those are now the people that I buy from. Like I was telling y'all before the show, I literally was talking to Freddie. If you're watching, what's up, Freddie?
Hey, Freddie.
And I called him and he was like, "Hey, are you live right now? Am I phoning a friend?" But I reach out to Freddie whenever I need something quick, or just those relationships that we're starting to build are going to be relationships that we have for the rest of our careers in the industry.
Absolutely.
Totally. And I would say it reminds me of whenever I hear someone in a company, you say, "Where do I get blah, blah, blah this time of year?" And the buyer will be like, "Oh, I'm going to call so-and-so because I've been working with that farm for 25 years. I've known that guy." It's so fun at NextGen to see those connections being made for the first time, because as you said, Nicole, it really is a beautiful mix of both the retail florists sending their team, but the wholesale and farm level have really embraced it entirely. And so it's so cool to see the wholesalers and the farm level also sending their younger employees and seeing those people connect and trade business cards, which is going to serve them for the rest of their career. But I think it also brings value to the business, because it's easy to get stale and say, well, we've always bought this from this because it's the only thing that we know. And now your NextGen employees are returning from this conference saying, well, hey, I connected with so-and-so here who they've got this going on, or so-and-so here who's got this going on. And it's really, really cool to see those things happening in the room, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think what was really powerful is when Oscar Fernandez from Rio Rose's incoming SAF president at the first conference just said, take a look around the room, and these are your people that you are going to hopefully spend the rest of your life with. These are your friends, and this is your family. And it's certainly, we definitely found our own family, and I really love that, and I really appreciate that. And I think like for just a reminder, anyone that's listening, that we had representation. Someone was from Elite. We have people from Jet Fresh, growers, importers. We had breeders. It was just everyone. It made sense. Like FJ from Continental Greens I'm pretty sure he sent his accountant, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't have to just be the next generation in the industry, the son, the daughter, the GM. It really makes sense to send anyone to get them excited about being in the floral industry. and creating career paths rather than just like a job stepping stone. Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys want to add?
I mean, also, I think as an investment in employees, right? Like our generation is so much, we thrive on that experience, and we thrive on, I guess, the feeling of our companies investing in us and wanting the best for us and for our careers and for our lives and stuff. So I think that from a perspective of making that investment in your employee, like you said, there was an accountant there. I met a guy, I don't remember his name, but he came from Comet, and I asked him how long he had been with Comet Sales, and he was like, "Oh, I've only been there like a couple months. I'm brand new." But I just love that Alex it is Alex, right? I think no,
bro.
the guy from Comet. But anyway, so he had invested in a brand new employee, sending him, and I know DWF sent a few employees, and
Love that.
I think it's just, I love seeing vendors that are supporting the industry. And, I've talked to Eric at Alvin Hagstrom, and I said, "Hey, Eric, I'm going to start buying some more greens from you because I appreciate that you're investing in the industry and that you're investing in SAF." And I think it just goes a lot farther than we all think it does.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Shifting gears. So, all of us are are lucky enough to be part of peer groups. And a big part of peer groups is visiting other shops and visiting other flower companies. And obviously it's very beneficial to your business to step outside and go to another business and see how they work, and always take the best bits or learn whatever company you're in that you're visiting at the time. I think, can we kind of touch base? So something unique about our conference is that it's always based around a tour or a field trip, that I like to say. We've been to the airport, went and saw progressive retailers. We saw a huge event company. Do you guys want to just touch on that, why it's so unique and why it's so beneficial?
Go ahead, Cam.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that one of those things, like when I joined the business, my dad, I think he might have gone to Miami when he first bought the business and did a tour, but I doubt that the tour that he did was as in depth as what we were doing. I mean, we had to get TSA, approval or whatever to go into where these flowers were coming in. And I think from my perspective, to see and understand, to have a tour like that, and people that live in Miami, people that are distributors and importers and all that, they understand it. But for a retailer to be able to walk into the airport, walk into this massive 100,000 square foot cooler and see a jet pallet, where a jet pallet rolls in and gets unloaded, is really impactful on what you know, because then I'm able to come home and I'm able to share with my employees, or in most NextGen's case, my coworkers, how that whole thing works. And I think that, I went to the airport this year because I missed the airport last year. I had a family vacation and I had to leave early. But everybody that went to the progressive retailers this year were just like blown away. And I think, being a member of a peer group, it has allowed me to visit lots of shops. And like you said, Nicole, you learn so much just in those conversations and making those friendships and seeing what other shops do. And I can't tell you how many things we've implemented in the last 7 years that we saw in another shop and just didn't know that idea until we had visited a shop.
Yeah, it was really special.
I think the NextGen conference has a cool mixture of all the things you can want at a conference. So you have these big tours that can be really impactful. I mean, we all three know from going into another flower shop, you can walk around in 10 minutes and write down 3 or 4 ideas that paid for the trip. That's the way we always talk about it, that it paid for the trip. So touring, that's incredible. Seeing how it works in Miami is, one, just cool to know being in the industry, but it's also helpful to understand. You know, I have experienced a few years ago, I experienced a big event I was doing in another city, and it was a huge event with a bunch of tropical flowers. And the day before the flowers were supposed to come into that city, we were told they were all destroyed by customs because of bug issues in Miami. And like having done the tour, I now understand better the process. Would that have helped me in the situation? Not necessarily, but at least it would have made more sense to me in the moment. So you have these tours, which are very cool and educational. You have a bunch of education sessions, which we work really hard on creating content that's specifically tailored towards the next gen. So how do you manage people when you're managing people who are older than you? How do you navigate conversations with your parents or decision makers who are in the generation ahead of you? How do you lead with empathy? Even practical things like social media strategies and marketing strategies. And then I think what many people find to be the actual most valuable part is all the informal in between. So the time at the bar, the restaurant, hanging out, at breakfast, at the coffee bars. You know, that's where, for me, you have some of those conversations that when you come back are the most important ones, where you connect with somebody who has some wisdom to share, or you grab onto a good idea that could work well for your business. And so, yeah, it's a lot of cool things jammed into a tiny amount of time, for sure.
It's like the social time is like inadvertent mentoring. You know, you're speaking. It's both. You know, we talk a lot about trying to find a mentoring system, and then I realize it's like we're both mentoring and reverse mentoring, right? Mm-hmm. Like I learned so much just talking to some of these younger folks, and I say younger folks, I'm one of them, but like talking to other people, newer people in the industry, but also I'm able to pour into them, they're able to pour into me, and you know, I love that we had an informal pool party this year, because last year at the first one, it ended up like we went. I got there early, and before registration, it's like there was like 40 of us just hanging out at the pool, and it ended up being an impromptu sort of pool party. Mm-hmm. And Irving had a speaker, you know, the infamous Irving speaker. He brings it. And then we had like flash tats and stuff and all that, and it was a fun time. Yeah. And you end up meeting. It's just a welcoming atmosphere. Nobody is intimidated. It's much less intimidating and scary for somebody first time attendee.
Very inclusive, yeah. Guys, really quick, I'm gonna make sure that we're interactive. Sahid, is there any comments that we can, or questions? So Aaron said every session was so good, it's hard to choose the best part. Absolutely. No question on that one. Hi, Caitlin. Roundabout. Hi, friends.
Caitlin sent some young employees. She sent at least 2 girls, I think. Mm-hmm. I didn't meet them. I ended up not meeting them until the last day. But
I'll tell you what. One of the girls told me that she was like, these were literally the best 3 days of my life. And that just touched my heart so much. And I was like, God, it just made me so happy. And I was like, my work here is done. Freddie, hello, superstars. Hi, Jordan. Hello, all. Thank you for hosting. Tony, hello, all.
Well, Nicole, let's definitely make sure we share now that we have everyone excited about the next the next opportunity, which we're particularly excited about.
Okay. Yeah, we certainly are. So should we announce where we're going?
Totally.
All right. 1, 2, 3. San Diego.
Sunny San Diego. So after 2 years in Miami, we're going to welcome everyone to the best coast, the West Coast. We're also moving the dates a little bit. So both of the first and second conference were in the summer in Miami. We're moving to the end of February in San Diego, and it's going to be a cool and unique experience. One, all you East Coast people need to convince your decision makers to send you just so you can have a break from your terrible weather and come here to gorgeous San Diego. But 2, it's going to be, I think, a little bit different experience even than what we've done in Miami. You know, in Miami, the experience has been more about logistics and infrastructure, I would say, seeing what happens at the airport, which is huge. And here in Southern California, we're going to have the opportunity to tour a handful of farms and growers that are doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, we're in the works figuring all that good stuff out. But yeah, we're going to see definitely how things are grown and what that looks like on this end. And we've got some really cool places lined up.
And Alan's is hosting it, right?
Sam is actually hosting it at his house.
Yeah.
Here. The dates, guys, are February 25th through the 27th. Obviously, after Valentine's Day, write that down, save it, put it on your calendar. But February 25th through the 27th, it's going to be.
I don't know about hosting, but I'm already preparing for lots of visitors. So
good.
Definitely.
Perfect. I'm going to just switch gears really quick because I don't know how much time we have left, and I want to.
Does anybody have any questions for us about NextGen or about just anything while we're on?
Tracy said, my favorite part of NextGen was meeting other young professionals. Like Ellie said, I feel like I met my tribe. Nicole encouraged me to attend, and I'm glad I did. My world completely opened up. Amen. Sheldon, NextGen is the best. There are so many amazing people. I've learned so much, not from just the classes, but from everyone there. The conversations get intense in business and how we can improve. Thank you, Sheldon.
Good to hear from you, Sheldon.
Miranda, that is so fun. Love the move, time, and location. Yeah, it's a good move, Caitlin. Best goes. Guys, so I'm going to, you guys both work with a lot of companies and outside of SAF. And I just wanted to hear, like, what are some, just rapid fire, what are some industry related companies that you've been impressed with lately or that your business can't run without? Let's give some shout outs.
I mean, you know, the crew at JetFresh, obviously, they've been great. And I shared a lot about my relationship and how my relationship is built with them on the Two Fat Guys podcast.
We love you guys, by the way. We literally live for JetFresh.
And so they've been really helpful to me. But, you know, I go back to, and I don't buy anything from DWF, but Denver Wholesale, when I talked to Dave at Congressional Action Days about their interest in investing in the next generation, that was really impressive to me. Mm-hmm. They bought in, and I think he told me, he was like, we're so excited about it. We've got new employees. We have young employees. We're sending 6 people, blah, blah, blah. And I was really impressed with that. And so those are two that I've really appreciated. And I mean, I could go on and on about all the great contacts like Freddie and just all the people that I work with, you know. But
Sam?
Yeah, you know, I don't do a ton of the buying in our company, so I have less things that come to mind in that sense. But I've been doing a lot of cool things with Jack's Baskets. I know a lot of people interact with him. It's kind of a cool family story too, where literally the business started with Grandpa driving around in the van selling baskets, and then Kevin, who currently runs the company and is our age, his dad kind of took it to the next level and grew the wholesale business. And now Kevin is doing some new things and making his own way. But we've been able to partner with him and having some custom containers made all the way from design to production in Asia to shipping here, which is kind of a cool thing. So that's been a fun thing to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm new to Jack's Baskets, but I just spoke with Kevin at length a couple weeks ago, and we placed an order with them, and I was really impressed with his knowledge and just what they're doing. And also, you know, how could I forget the Flower Click girls? I really think that they've been. I love their. Not only do I love their merch, and my wife loves their merch. Hey, Katie.
Swag for days.
But also, you know, just the point of view that Flower Click is bringing to the industry. Mm-hmm. And just a fresh twist, a fresh look. You know, yeah. I joined Flower Click mainly to help me out with some of the images that I'm using. They've got some great content and an incredible sympathy guide, which is worth membership, you know, regardless. But you know, and I'm actually missing the shop talk. The shop talk is going on right now, so they have a once a month meeting. It's really great, and it's a good group of folks, good group of florists in that network. So I like Flower Click a lot too.
I think we're forgetting a main one for all of us guys. that I know our businesses would not be able to operate without them, but we have to give a
Right.
shout out to our gravity-free homies.
Gravity-free, yes.
Number one.
Yeah. Gravity-free.
The gravity-free people are kind of like vegetarians or vegans. I think we can be very annoying talking about how much we love gravity-free. I say that in all love. I do love gravity-free. I'm just acknowledging that I bet to non-gravity-free people, we gravity-free people can be a little annoying.
Kind of like us NextGeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many great companies doing so many great things. And I love that it has such a great next gen influence on everything too. So it's pretty exciting to see the future of the floral industry, and just want to be mindful of our time for Sahid and our listeners. But I think maybe we should wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we were supposed to start wrapping up 7 minutes ago, so probably.
But I'm on the call, so good luck.
Hey, and yeah, the three of us could talk for all day. Before we forget to share this, if you've never heard of NextGen or you've never even heard of SAF, because I know lots of people across the industry watch the show, to find out more about this conference we're talking about, go to safnow.org, and it'll be on the homepage, the NextGen conference, safnow.org. You'll also find that it's intentionally as accessible as possible as far as the affordability. We worked really hard with SAF even taking a hit on the registration cost does not cover the cost of the conference. And we did that intentionally to make it as easy as possible for companies to send as many people as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't happen without sponsors. The event would never be where it is without sponsorship. People like Sahid at New Bloom, and obviously Jet Fresh and Rio Roses. And we could go on Flower Click for days. But thank you for everyone. And there's obviously great sponsorship opportunities. It's going to be really fun and funky this year being in San Diego. So if anyone wants to get involved, definitely reach out to any of us and we'll make magic happen with that. But thank you, and really appreciate Sahid letting us take over his show for the afternoon. It's been really fun. I love you guys obviously so much. You're the best people in the entire world, and appreciate you.
So that was awesome as always. Thank you so much for Nicole for guest hosting. Thank you to Sam. Thank you to Cameron for joining. And actually, I had a last question, so I'm going to bring them in. Hey guys, my question for you guys. Well, I had a question. I had to ask everybody. Can you hear me well, by the way?
Slightly.
You're good now.
Okay, cool. So I had a question because I asked everybody in the audience, and that's when they started chiming in. What was your favorite part? So if you would put yourself not as running the whole thing, right, and you're there as a guest, what was your favorite part? We could start with Nicole.
Oh God, my favorite part. I am not an emotional person. I feel like I'm a very strong woman, and I was so emotional. I think I cried like at least 4 times at NextGen, like happy tears. My favorite part was just seeing my friends that I have made who become my family just up doing really, really great things. I was so proud of Irving telling his story about being an immigrant from Mexico and landing in Arkansas. Now he's absolutely killing it with Flower Shop Network. Just seeing all my friends winning and like just their network growing and just seeing everyone together, it just makes my heart so happy.
And how about yourself, Sam?
Yeah, I would say similar. My favorite part was watching all the times Nicole burst into tears out of joy and excitement at seeing what her child had become, and really not that I know she needs it, but we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't say that. I personally don't think this conference would have ever gotten off the ground without Nicole, and she's not a paid member of the SAS staff. All the time she puts in as volunteer. So shout out to the queen of the NextGen.
Thank you.
We appreciate your energy and all the work that you put into it. But yeah, no, it's really cool, like anything, seeing on day one people who are kind of sitting tentatively at their table, and 48 hours later when we're having our big social night out, seeing tables mixed with people who are just diving into conversations. It's so cool to observe for sure.
Yeah, Sam, I ditto what you said about just, Nicole. We couldn't do it without Nicole and her
Guys.
her input into the programming and everything. But honestly, as the extroverted person that I am, those of you who know me know that you could put me in front of a brick wall and I could find something to talk about with that wall for 45 minutes. So I just loved sitting down at a random table and meeting new people. I can't tell you, I met so many, I met a lot more people this year because I was intentional about trying to break away and just force myself to go sit with strangers. And I made a lot of new friendships, and I've actually been keeping in touch with some of those folks. And so I really think that in my perspective, it's just meeting people and getting to know new people. That's always my favorite part. And the programming was incredible as well. Lots of short form video, TikTok reels, and that kind of talk, which is difficult. But yeah, making new friends is always fun for me.
And that's true as well. As you said, the content was great, right? The selection of content. We really didn't talk about that. Can you talk really quickly? I sorry to extend the call, but I think it's really cool to also talk about the content because there's some great presentations. Can you run through that really quickly? Maybe talk about your favorite presentations.
Sam is always phenomenal. Sam was, according to our survey and watching everyone go crazy over Sam is always so great to hear. So he was my favorite. We talked about, Sam, I'll let you go talk about what you spoke about.
Yeah, I was just talking about 5-star customer experiences. So just using even the switch from referring to customer service, which makes us think about problems and fixing problems, to customer experience, because I think a lot of what NextGen can do for a business is give a young and fresh generation new and fresh ideas to breathe into the business. And so that's kind of what my presentation was about. Reevaluating from start to finish, what is the experience that our customers have with us that would keep them coming back for more.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think sorry, Sahid, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, Ken. What was going on?
So one thing that I experienced and most of the attendees didn't make it for was the early morning mindfulness and meditation. I practice prayer and meditation in my everyday life, and so I really enjoyed having that moment, and kudos to SAF for recognizing that. I know Sam and I talked a lot about mental health last year at SAF at NextGen, and SAF really took that and ran with it. And
Jenna from Rosa Prima
came. She stepped up and she told us how nervous she was, but Barry has just empowered her and taught her this way of life, and she was talking so much about how it has changed her life. And I think that that was a really cool, it was only like a 15-20 minute session, but it was really fun and awesome to attend and be a part of.
Really quick, we had such heavy hitters like Seth Goldman from Urban Stems. That was really great for a TED talk of how I did it. I appreciate bringing in people like that to hear their story. And then we just heard about the journey of hard goods, which last year we did the journey of flowers. So that was exciting. And
then Renato did a little AI chat.
That was awesome. A little scary,
a little overwhelming, a little scary, whatever. But if you're not using AI in your business, you should be.
Yeah, if not, it'll use you.
Yeah. And then and also the communication. When Adam and Corrine did the communication chat.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Just showing people we were throwing a microphone in a foam ball around the room.
Get people out.
And then there was also, if I may say real quick, there was a basketball shooting game, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about this convention. Sorry, I know you guys didn't ask me, but I'll chime in, is that there's so many little small details, and the energy that SAF, Kate Penn and her team put into it to welcome everybody was very heartfelt to me. I saw Kate Penn standing in the line in the rain, welcoming everybody in. So it's very thought out, and the party was bomb as well. So congratulations to you guys for everything.
Yeah, thank you for that recommendation. The party was phenomenal. It was a great location.
Yeah. Let me do a couple shout outs here really quick, and then I'll let you guys go. But This one is and this is what's great is that this also inspires others. Sorry, Cam and Sam, for blocking you guys. I wish I could have come. I learned so much from Facebook page, so that's doing a difference as well. That's making a difference as well. And also from the Bloom Show and Two Fat Guy podcast, I never knew there was a full industry as large as it is. It blows my mind. So that's really awesome. What you guys are doing is making a difference. And then Caitlin, great job, Nicole, Sam, and Cam. We have Andrew Fiant. I'm horrible about last name, so sorry. Thank you. I'll let Nicole say the last name. Major kudos. Thank you, Nicole, Sam, and Cam. Kate Penn,
SAF Queen herself, Kate Penn.
She's a big part of this. She says, very true to something you said. And then Daniel Sanchez says, I love everyone on this screen. So he loves all you. He loves all you. So, Nicole, thank you again. Sam, Cameron, thank you so much for your support, for doing this. And we are here to support NextGen however we can. I'll put you guys in the Bloom room, all right?
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you all.
All right, so that's a wrap. I do want to do a little, how do you say, shop care or whatever. There is a show on August 8th for Pro Flora, Augusto. We're actually going to be there live, so we're going to be talking about the show on August 8th about everything that's going to go on at Pro Florida. So very excited about that. If you've never gone to the convention, tune in and learn more and see if you want to go. And then we're also having Deli Floor on the 22nd. That's tentative, but most probably on the 22nd, JD. And the Flower Click Takeover. The ladies will be taking over as guest hosts and running the show as they will. So if you want to be a part of the Bloom Show, if you want to either be a sponsor or be a guest host, please just reach out to us at www.newbloomsolutions.com, Sahid at New Bloom Solutions, or Connect at New Bloom Solutions, or Bloom at New Bloom Solutions. Reach out to us, and we love to share your story. Again, this platform is for the floral community, by the floral community, to share your story, to share these opportunities, to share these conventions, the great work that SAF does at SAF CAD, at SAF NextGen, to share so that people become a part of it, so that you get involved. So if you do want to get involved for NextGen, there's safnow.org. As Sam said, it's very easy to navigate it. So jump on board, ask questions, reach out to Nicole. You could find her on LinkedIn. You could find her on Instagram. They're very interactive, so just chime in. And again, thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you to Nicole and her team for your time, and thank you for the audience for participating and asking questions and chiming in and making it a whole lot better. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. See you next month. Bye-bye.